In addition to being scared, Halloween night is also about the candy and the costumes. And tomorrow night, chances are you're going to find yourself at home alone with a big bowl of candy. Or perhaps your children will bring home bags of candy from trick-or-treating. It can be a source of unhealthy temptation and frustration, as many of us can't control how much candy we eat. And we also struggle to help our children make smart choices as well. We're going to help you today in advance of Halloween. We welcome back to the night certified eating disorder specialist Signe Darpinian. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Gasia.
You brought some of the treats of the season.
I did.
And I'll mention to you, I'm a parent of 2 little boys, and my husband and I struggle over how to handle Halloween every year. Our rule has been this: you get to choose which 10 pieces of candy you keep from your loot. The rest gets taken away and brought to the newsroom. They're giving us heavy pushback, saying they earned that candy. It is theirs to keep. We don't want to fight over this more than we have, so help us out.
Okay, so Gasia, I have some ideas that may be a little alternative.
Okay.
And so I'll let you know how I go about it, and then you can kind of like pick what speaks to you and just reject the rest.
Let's hear it.
So, okay, so first, I've got 3 tips, and I'll try to stick to those. The first one is making foods. If you're going to have the Halloween candy in the house, and especially these really good fun-sized ones.
Right?
Yeah, these are good ones. I wasn't messing around here.
It is good candy.
Yeah, I like it. So what you want to do, first of all, is make the food equal in availability. And what I mean by that is if you have what I call a connected eating refrigerator, it would be a refrigerator with things that are equally easy to grab. So for example, if you had this bowl of the fun-size candy in the fridge, and then you had the makings for a sandwich, you're going to be more likely to grab what's easiest versus what your body's actually calling for.
Because I
hungry.
don't have the time or the energy to make a sandwich. These are so easy just to grab and unwrap and consume.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when is the Snickers not going to sound good? It's always going to sound good. And you're right though. The sandwich, making the sandwich and making the refrigerator equal in availability. There's quite a bit of preliminary work that goes in. We don't always have the time.
Well, and you know, just the other day I went shopping, so I brought home the carrots. I think, okay, now I have to scrub the carrots, I have to peel the carrots, I have to cut the carrots, I have to Tupperware the carrots, but that's the only way the carrots are equal to a serving single-sized candy bar.
You're right. So the fridge might look like the carrots and maybe some hummus and cubed up fruit and sandwich halves and the Halloween candy there too.
Okay.
So then you can, you know, if you're actually hungry, we use a hunger meter 1 to 10, and the low end, the 3, 2, 1 is more like the hunger end, and then the high end is more like fullness. And so let's assume that you're at, so this is the second guideline, they all kind of go together, they're circular. The second guideline would be eating with manageable hunger. So that's what I call a 3 on the hunger meter, which is your first hit of appetite, which is kind of interesting.
So I can't come home starving.
Well, I mean, you can. It's all trial and error. And so we're not going, you know, that's the nice thing about connected eating. You really can't get it wrong. So in our world and the world of like the eating disorder profession, we tend to think that if you can get it wrong, it's a diet, typically. So it's all trial and error. And so if you can arrive or kind of get to that nice manageable hunger, then the key is, and this is fun for kids too, the key is to tune in and decide from the inside what you want your 3 T's to be. And around Halloween, and especially if they're new at understanding this, believe me, the 3 T's are going to be fun-sized candy, no matter what.
You're talking taste,
so taste, texture, and temperature. Thank you. Yeah, so you tune in and decide from the inside what it is your 3 T's are. And that has to do with then kind of honoring that particular hunger.
Okay.
And then the last guideline is stopping at just enough.
Oh, this is the hardest
I know,
part.
this is the hardest one, you're right. Because
they're so available. There's a bowl of them on the assignment desk as I speak.
This is the toughest one, and Janine Roth said it best way back in the day. She said, you know, even though the body is typically done, let's say that we've already eaten a really satisfying meal, the body is done, but the mind wants to keep going.
Right.
And so it's kind of tricky to figure out, so when does pleasure end and overeating begin? So the key is to make all the foods equal in availability, do your best, but trial and error, to start with manageable hunger, because when we get too ravenous, our eyes, you know, figuratively do get bigger than our stomach. And also what's kind of interesting is when we get too hungry, it actually increases our taste buds and increases this hunger hormone.
Right.
And sometimes we have cravings for sugar when we get overly hungry because it's the quickest energy source, which is kind of interesting. And so do your best to arrive at a 3. Tune in and decide from the inside what you want your 3 T's to be, taste, texture, temperature, and stop at just enough. So stopping at just enough is twofold, which would be room for more, comfortable stopping place. Simple but not easy. So stopping at just enough means that you're starting at a 3. You can't be too hungry or you're going to overcorrect over here. And it also has to do with being satisfied with what you ate. Okay, so if I'm craving a burger and I have a chicken breast instead, I'm probably going to keep eating because I'm chasing that satisfaction.
Right. But this is, I had 2 baby Snickers. They were sweet and delicious and crunchy. I'm done.
Right.
Okay.
And so, well, and the thing about the kids and Halloween candy, this sounds maybe kind of extreme to most people because I know sugar gets a bad rap.
Okay, let's hear it.
But well, I mean, you might not want to start this for the first time tomorrow. You would want to read part 2 of our book called No Way on connected eating. Get a really good base, see what kind of speaks to you, reject the rest. Do whatever is in alignment with you. And the idea would be, well, some studies have shown that if you have candy in the house on a more regular basis, then the Halloween candy really kind of ends up being no big deal.
Tempting, and they're not going to go crazy over it.
They grab their favorites, just like what you do with your boys, and then they kind of forget about the rest.
You've given us a lot to think about. Signe Darpinian, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gasia.
Let's mull it over. We'll be right back. It's important to give them some control as well.
Right. So yeah.